Hello, everyone. Welcome to another edition of Tone's Market Analysis. This is actually a follow-up from yesterday's video because I had a lot of questions regarding the user-activated soft fork in BIP148, and I promised that I would get back to some of those questions today. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a very, very short S&P, glance at S&P, a very short glance at gold, and then we're going to jump right into Bitcoin. I do want to remind you guys that if you've never seen any of my presentations, go to my website. I know it's not updated, but I've done this presentation more recently and in way better. But this is probably this was a very good video, which is why it's the only one on my website. This is my presentation about Bitcoin speculation from Argentina from November. So I know it's 6 months in Bitcoin is like, it's like dog years. It's like 7 years in real life. But go ahead and check that out. Or don't check it out if you plan to watch me live anytime soon. And then you'll be more surprised at this presentation when I do it in person. So here's if you are in Europe, on my calendar right here, October 6th, Hackers Congress at Parallels Police. Okay, that is like the Bitcoin office center, I guess. I know Satoshi Labs. I know Elena of Trezor was involved or is involved. I don't know. I've never been to Prague, but. So I just got word that they do want me there as a speaker for their Hackers Congress, which is I hear is an amazing conference over in Prague. So October 6th to 8th, I will definitely be in Prague. Like I said, I canceled all of my travels this summer, and I'm gonna make up for that. So probably late August, whether Bitcoin survives or not, I will be off. Maybe I'll do Europe. Maybe I'll stop by a few other countries in Europe. If Bitcoin gets through this well, I'll have a lot more money to actually, enjoy myself there. If not, I'll need to figure it out. But I will definitely be in Prague in October and probably in that area. And then at the end of October, I'll be in Colombia for La Bitcoin Conf. This is the La Bitcoin Conf of the video I'm showing you here. So I'll be there. All right. So enough of my travel schedule. Let's just get right into it. Oh, actually, no, one more. Another really old, good article that's as relevant today as it was, back in January of 2015 that I wrote for Cointelegraph. Also probably a good read for you guys. You can just Google it, when banks become law enforcers. And this is all about FATCA and going after people's taxes and banks being the de facto deputies of the US government to basically, look for tax cheats. So that's another good article now that, the war on cash rages on. All right, let's glance at the S&P today. It's a bit of a slow day, a little bit of a break in the bullish trend, but nothing to worry about. Daily looks good. 1 day off all-time high. In fact, earlier today, we did go to a new all-time high intraday. We'll probably close 1 day off all-time high, which was yesterday. So, no panic there. Weekly chart. Again, the week just started. It started off near the top of the previous candle, and the previous candle does not show any bearish signs, no wicks. It's not a doji. It's not a shooting star. So we got nothing. So it's nothing to worry about because last week's candle closed bullish. Stock market's going up. Gold, for some crazy reason, seems to be correlated with the stock market. This is rare. I don't know how long this is going to last. This tends to happen during panics or during euphorias. So definitely this isn't a panic because then they would both be falling. So this has to be a bit of a euphoria. Check out last couple of videos where I talked about, well, it could be money panicking out of fixed income. and it's going into private assets. And the stock market is private assets, right? Because they're public companies, but they're public companies for people. They're not government companies. So a move up in the stock market and a fall in the bond market is a shift from public investment to private investment via a public mechanism of a public stock market. Okay, so if this is a daily chart, if gold does do a shooting star candle today, then tomorrow could be a pretty bearish day for gold. Weekly chart, we are above the trend line, which is good if you're a gold bull. Bad if you're tone vase, because I fully expected a rejection going all the way breaking this low. So right now, but we're still stuck under this Fibonacci. And as long as we stay under this Fibonacci and make like a weekly, I guess, doji or a shooting star, this will not be a double top. This would be a slight break of the trend line, so not bullish yet. But if we go up another $20, $30 in gold, we would then create this double top. And you all know my view on double tops, that they're not going to last. And then we go back up and potentially make another double top. That's not going to last. And then we go higher. But I'm not ready to call a gold bull yet. As you can see, your momentum is still in a downward channel. Your MACD is still in a downward channel. Like, your momentum indicators are telling you that it's not time to be bullish yet. So I'm not going to be bullish yet. Okay, Bitcoin. Here we go. By the way, yeah, if you asked the questions earlier, please repeat them. My first attempt at this video didn't go too well, and so if you ask questions, I don't know what they were. Rich, thank you again for helping out with the questions. All right, let's talk about Bitcoin technicals, and then I'll jump right into the user-activated soft fork stuff and what I'm slowly doing. I'll probably turn my camera on. Okay, so here we go. So to me personally, Bitcoin is at an all-time high, okay? Because the weekly close last week or yesterday was way higher than any other weekly close on Bitcoin in history. And right now, the price is $26.55. The all-time intraday high on Bitstamp is $27.60. So we're about $100 away from the all-time high. And but to me, the weekly close is more important. The fact that last week closed bullish and this week is already doing good, to me, this is an all-time high. And how high is this going to go? I have no idea. So I'm holding. Here's the daily. Again, clearly, so the daily chart, we've now had at least 3 full days of closures at all-time high daily close. And again, that's important to me because to me, a daily close is just as important as an intraday high. In fact, as I explained last week, a daily close is more important than an intraday high because an intraday high could be just a stupid trader not, just like blowing through the book and getting a bad price, okay? So that doesn't mean anything, but a daily close means something, okay? At least to me it does. Also, the daily average price means something. And we're at 26.56 on Stamp. I wouldn't be surprised if we see 2,700 by tomorrow. And yeah, that was one of my calls right here with this yellow line back when it was at 2,500 going up. And I said it's getting a little bubbly. And if we crash, that would be a good buy point. And that turned out to be the perfect buy point. Here's Bitfinex. Looks exactly the same way. Oh, catching up again. Wow. Okay, so it's only $50 off. Let me do something real quick here. Let me type Stamp. Let's look at the ratio just real quick. The ratio is coming back. If this ratio can get back to 1, that would be awesome, because then we have stability. We have stability across exchanges, which is extremely important. Extremely important. I mean, this was just nuts. Okay. So yeah, so I'm happy about that. I'm happy if this gets back to 1. I would love to see Bitstamp and Bitfinex be at approximately the same price, within like, a fraction of a percent off. All right, let's close that. All right, here's the hourly. Well, when I started this video, I was like, oh, look, it's going to hit this trend channel. I'm not even sure if this trend channel means anything. Back in the day, I was talking, this was the SegWit activation trend channel. But then when all of this Bitmain signaling for big blocks and all this other bullshit, we fell out of the channel, and now we're back into the channel. To be honest with you, I didn't think that was possible. I didn't think we would get back into this channel. I thought this channel was way too steep, and it was going to, I mean, this is a pretty damn steep channel. I mean, this thing doesn't let me go out all that far. It's as far as it lets me go because it's an hourly chart. But this is June 26th, and this channel already has, above $3,000 a coin, right? So that's if we stay in this channel, and clearly we've already broken above it and we're back in it. Drew this arrow the other day. I talked about the potential of some big whale watching my tweets and immediately buying. I will be keeping that under advisement. Please watch last video from yesterday. This is a complete follow-up from yesterday's video. I don't want to repeat myself too much. So please go. I know that video is long, but it's a lot of Q&A there as well. Okay. And so now we're in the channel. Okay. Oh man. Okay. So let's talk about Litecoin for a minute. I'll probably get back to it. I tweeted this out right as this triangle was coming to an end. I can probably pull up my Twitter. Oh, you know what? I can pull up the. You know what? I'm just an idiot today, guys. I'm displaying unreasonable amount of stuff. And hold on one second. All right, I'm back. See, this is what happens when I do off-the-cuff videos, and I'm totally not prepared. And when I'm not prepared, I end up, seriously doing something very stupid. Give me a second. So it depends how stupid of a thing I do, because YouTube no longer allows you to edit your videos afterwards. And if I rewatch this and I don't like what I accidentally flashed, I will be deleting the video. So enjoy the live feed while you can. And here's the unfortunate part, right? If I continue to do something stupid and it gets me, in some trouble, then I'll stop doing live videos altogether, because it's just, it's not worth it, right? It's really not. It's not worth it, because you do something stupid, somebody takes a screenshot, and then you're screwed. So this is one of the reasons why live video and screen share is a really bad idea. But at the moment, I don't care. But if it starts to actually matter, then I'm forced to stop. It's not going to be a choice. All right, let me see here. And it's mostly my fault, but it doesn't matter, right? Sometimes you have to prevent yourself from making mistakes. So So here's what I tweeted out, and basically almost immediately, Litecoin started breaking above the triangle, and it's still going up. So my target on this triangle is all the way at about $44. Now, of course, that does not mean Of course, that doesn't mean that it has to go up in terms of Bitcoin, because Bitcoin is clearly going up, but it's going up in terms of dollars. And I know people have been asking me, to add a Litecoin donation address, and I sent out a Twitter poll about it, and I'm probably gonna do it. And maybe next video I'll talk about the reasons why I decided to do it. But I'll probably throw on a Litecoin donation address. You know, why not? And I'll be holding on to the Litecoin, right? I'm not going to be converting it. Like I'll hold on to the Litecoin, see what happens. We'll see. It's unfortunate that Litecoin already has SegWit and Bitcoin doesn't, right? It's just like Litecoin is now innovating and Bitcoin is not. All right. Now I'll talk about this after. Okay, so I don't need this anymore. Yeah, and definitely check out yesterday's video. So here's my list of articles that I continue to recommend to people to get ready for the user-activated soft fork. This is Luke Dash Jr.'s article right here. This is Jimmy Song's article that I really like, the Skin in the Game article. This article actually, influenced me in going out and getting a miner. And the miner that I got is Avalon Miner 741 from Canon. And the link to this is the link to this is in the description of this video. Okay. Another article that I just read yesterday, because it came out yesterday, talked about why the user-activated soft fork is not doing or may not happen, or why there's no support. Okay, so here's what really bothers me, guys. So the information on the user-activated soft fork is just coming in. It's just coming in. And people are already saying the user-activated soft fork doesn't have enough support to be a threat or to actually succeed. And I agree with them. But the user-activated soft fork isn't activating tomorrow. It is activating August 1st. And 2 months in Bitcoin is an insane amount of time, okay? And it really bothers me when people are like, oh, your idea just came out. Don't even give people a chance to think about it. Nope, no one wants it. No one likes it. It's like, give it a chance. Give it some weeks. And they're like, oh, well, the exchanges aren't listing it yet. Well, that's because there may not be enough people pushing for them to list it. I have literally just joined the user-activated soft fork push 2 days ago. I joined 2 days ago. And these articles are literally coming out saying no one's going to support it. Well, that's because people still don't freaking understand it. This is the only time I've ever seen people jump on something they don't understand is the Bitcoin Unlimited and Big Blocker morons, okay? They will jump on something just because someone said it, okay? I didn't do that. I didn't jump on the user-activated soft fork the day the BIP came into existence just because I blindly trust some guy. I don't do that, okay? And I was busy. People are freaking busy. We have lives. We have jobs. Okay. I don't have either, but other people do, right? Give people time to digest the damn information. All right. And then see if exchanges get on board. There is plenty of time. Do not listen to these FUD articles that the user-activated soft fork on August 1st has no chance. Listening to that is like listening to people saying that Trump doesn't have a chance to win the presidential election. They were saying it 2 years ago, a year ago, and they were saying it the morning of the election. Okay, you don't know. Nobody knows. Talk to me in a month. If the user activated soft fork is looking too dangerous with not enough support and very, very dangerous in the middle of July, maybe I'll pull my support. Maybe I'll say, you know what? I'm not going to turn on that miner on the user activated soft fork. I don't know yet, right? I'm not blindly following this. I'm following it right now because I think it's the right thing to do. And I'll probably talk about why I think it's the right thing to do in a minute. But for now, so this article was generally good, but, take that FUD at the end of this article with a grain of salt. Okay, another good article, okay, by John Light. And it talks about what you can do to help make the user-activated soft fork a success. And he gives you some templates on to email your wallets and exchanges. So this is another article I strongly recommend reading. So here it is. It should be in my description to my video, but if not, just Google it. Here's an article by Kyle Torpy that I thought was pretty good, and it's basically pushing people to try and convince the exchanges to list both coins so that there is a market. Okay. Here's a new article by Jimmy Song. I promised I'd read it last night. Then I promised I'd read it this morning. I still have not read it. So he went through his scenario game theory, and I really should read this article, but I really want to write one on my own, but I want to do a lot of things I never actually get to do. So in a minute, I'm going to talk about my view on what can happen in this game theory scenario and what's really going on. Another good one is from We Use Coins. And it's a guide on how to get your, BIP148 up and running. But before you do that, here's a guide on how to set up a full node. So this is probably what you should be doing beforehand. So before you get into doing BIP148, just set up a regular Bitcoin node. And then if you want to, you can go ahead and do that. Again, this is the miner that should be on the way to my apartment. And then it's going into the cabin, and this is where I got my Trezor. So check that out. So look, the CEO of Ledger, founder of Trezor, and Digital Beatbox, which I'm not too familiar with that yet, but. Crypto HW wallet. I have a link to this in my description as well. I believe it's an affiliate link, and I think you'll save $5 if you use my link to buy it from here. Okay, so that's where my Trezor came from. All right, guys. So that's almost all I had to say. I think Rich is starting to compile questions for me. I believe he has. And okay, so without reading Jimmy Song's article, who, by the way, Jimmy is actually a developer. He's actually a programmer, okay? He knows a lot of the stuff better than I do, right? But I'm also going to go through my own game theory possibilities. I'm hoping he covered them all. But here's how I see it right now, right? I read over some of the commentary by Shaolin Fry, who proposed the user-activated soft fork, and why he specifically picked August 1st. There was a reason for that, okay? And I'm not going to go into the details as to why. I understand that a lot of the developers prefer BIP149, but BIP149 doesn't give us SegWit till mid-July of next year. And that's a bit of a problem. Look, I was all about status quo, okay? You can call me out on it, right? When I debated Roger, I was all about status quo and the $100 fee is okay and all this stuff. And, in hindsight, maybe it's not okay, right? Maybe I'm not as okay with the $100 fee right now as I was back in February, right? We all make mistakes, okay? I'm not okay with it because we have a solution. We have a solution that like 6 other altcoins have already adopted, okay? And Litecoin is starting to become useful. And I talked about my #1 use case for Litecoin would become gambling sites payouts, especially if Bitcoin is unusable in the beginning of August because of a potential hard fork. But here's my game theory scenarios because I have not yet read Jimmy's article. Okay, so the way I see it is the Bitcoin community needed to do something because Bitmain continues to push a narrative that would allow them to hold on to ASIC boost. And real Bitcoiners don't want that. And real Bitcoiners don't want to leave Bitcoin for something else. By the way, if I leave Bitcoin for something else, it sure as hell ain't going to be for a store of value. It's going to be for usability, okay? Because there are things that I occasionally buy that I only want to pay for in Bitcoin. And I have to pay for them in Bitcoin because no other currency is accepted. Maybe Litecoin will be accepted, right? But I'm not going to treat Litecoin as a store of value because if Bitcoin is not a store of value, nothing is a store of value. Well, life doesn't work that way, okay? It just doesn't. The reason why I don't believe in double tops is because life doesn't give you a second chance to get out or get in. Life isn't going to give you a second chance for a store of value. Bitcoin is that chance, and we have to fight for it. So the Bitcoin community had to do something, and that date was carefully chosen. Now, a lot of the Bitcoin core developers don't like it because the user-activated soft fork could lead to a hard fork. But here's where the game theory comes in, right? Supporting BIP148 and SegWit doesn't cost much, right? You don't have to put skin in the game. You just have to spend a little bit of development time making sure you covered both forks. Okay, every wallet has to do this. And the most interesting wallet for this should be blockchain.info. I think they're the worst wallet, but they're the biggest wallet, right? But that usually happens, right? Like everyone thinks Microsoft's the worst operating system, but it's the best but it's the most popular operating system, right? That happens. Most of the time, scalability comes at the expense of quality. The more users you have, the shittier your quality generally is. This is why a lot of the small operations can do things way better than the big ones, but they just can't scale. And if they do scale, their quality greatly degrades. This is why I never, ever order anything from an infomercial. I'm sure we've all ordered something from an infomercial at one point or another. It's not that the products on the infomercial are bad. It's just that the quality of the first 100 or 200 of those products, the ones that are actually used in the commercial, that quality is good. When you start mass producing it, the quality greatly disappears, and this is the general problem of it all. So, you know what? Let me stop screen share before I do something else stupid, and then I'll have to take down the video again. Flip my camera on. All right, so here's my game theory scenario. There's two ways that a chain split can be avoided. One of them is if the miners get their shit together and we have 95% SegWit compliance by miners before August 1st. Okay, it should have already happened. They don't want to do it. Fine, screw them. So the people in the community that are behind the user-activated soft fork, we are saying we don't want status quo. We're gonna force you to fork. So we're gonna start accepting SegWit transactions, and the legacy chain will get reorganized. If you don't want that, you have to fork. So we are forcing them to fork. And let's see who the bad guy is. However, if after August 1st, 51% of the mining power supports BIP148, then the fork will probably be avoided because economics dictate that everyone should be supporting BIP148. The problem comes is if we have less than 51% mining power for the user-activated soft fork. And it's not that simple. Again, I don't know what Jimmy wrote in his scenarios, but these are my scenarios. And I could be totally wrong. I have not had time to think about this more. If there is less than 51% of miner compliance, it matters a lot whether it's 10% or 20% or 30%. So if the miner compliance is really small, then the user-activated soft fork might actually die, and actually there's no point, right? Like I will, if by my August 14th date, we can't get like even 20% of mining support on it, it becomes, you know, that chain might orphan off and like disappear, and then we're back to status quo. And then maybe it's BIP149. Here's what happens if there is like 20 to 30% miner support. The legacy miners actually have the power, I believe, and I could be wrong, a technologist can call me an idiot and correct me, and I'll have to agree with them. They have the power to really screw with the SegWit transactions. They could be mining and not including SegWit transactions. They can basically render that chain useless because it has enough mining power to stay alive, but not enough mining power to be useful. And that's the worst case scenario. That scenario may force the BIP148 supporters, like Luke Dash Jr., to immediately propose an immediate proof of work change on the user-activated soft fork side. And that means that it's the user-activated soft forkers, like myself, that will be responsible for causing the hard fork. And that would be unfortunate. That's not what I want, okay? But that is the worst case scenario. The other side of the coin is if there is, 20, 30, 40% mining support, and the legacy chain, Jihan and Bitmain, are scared that 51% of miners is possible within a few weeks' time after August 1st. And he gets scared of that possibility. And he doesn't have enough mining power to screw with the SegWit transactions. Then he is forced to hard fork the legacy chain. And then he's the bad guy that caused the hard fork. See, nobody wants to be the bad guy pushing the button to hard fork. Because if the legacy chain simply reorgs, those that were ready and had duplicates on both sides are still okay. They're still okay. No harm, no foul. Tough 2 weeks of August. It'll probably be a little longer. It could be longer than 2 weeks, could be shorter than 2 weeks. But I'm gonna always say 2 weeks because I want my August 14th date to matter. And I'm not gonna talk about the August 14th date in this video. I need to write up an article and update it. So that's the scenario, right? Like if the miners comply by August 1st with 95%, BIP148 won't even activate. I think. If the miners immediately get 51% after August 1st, done. We're okay. Though Jihan and Bitmain may still want to hard fork the legacy chain if they think they can do something with it, but that would be incredibly dumb, because the less support big blockers have, why would anybody follow that, right? Like if the user-activated soft fork is picking up 40% plus of mining power, immediately hard forking the legacy chain by the big blockers. First of all, they have their own internal game theory problem. Are they going to hard fork a simple proof of work change so that the miners aren't compatible? Are they going to hard fork and include extension blocks? Are they going to hard fork and include, what was that, some other proposal? I don't even know, right? Are they going to hard fork into 2 megabytes? Are they going to hard fork into a proof of work change SegWit, but some kind of SegWit that still allows them to keep ASIC boost? And do they promise not to use ASIC boost and actually enforce it somehow technologically? But the only way to really enforce it is with SegWit. So what the hell's the point? Are they? And why would anyone join them if right now people think Bitmain has too much mining power? Why on earth would anyone follow them? Because they're going to have an even greater amount of mining power by percentage. It's literally going to be China coin, as some people like to call it. All right? Like, no matter, at every turn, you have multiple options. And this is why this game theory is so complicated. I literally have to sit down and draw a giant tree. I'm surprised Jimmy wrote this article without like hand drawing a tree. I might actually hand draw this. I don't want to spend time like doing graphic design. And I haven't even thought through all of the possibilities. Like, the permutations of this stuff is insane. And it all changes with the amount of mining support for the user-activated soft fork. And right now, there's almost no mining support. But here's the thing. Don't forget about the silent majority. For someone like me who believes in the user-activated soft fork, why on earth would I turn on my miner before July 31st? Why do I want to increase the overall hash rate? Because the higher the hash rate on August 31st, the harder it is to find the first segregated witness block. So there's going to be a lot of silent majority. Also, people were always complaining, well, what's going to happen to mining when the rewards run out? And my theory has always been, well, by then, hopefully there's enough rich people invested in Bitcoin. There's enough companies reliant on Bitcoin, and they will all be willing to mine at a loss to protect the network, to protect their value, to protect their savings. I believe that time has come. I am going to mine the user-activated soft fork and SegWit to protect my Bitcoin. So those that have made some money on this run-up that held through the crash from 1,000 to 150 back to $2,500 now. What if it's 3,000? What if it's 4,000? The higher the price of Bitcoin, unless you sell your Bitcoin and take the fiat, your only other option is to protect your own Bitcoin. And if it costs you $100 a month to protect it, that's fine, because your anticipation is that it's worth it, because your Bitcoin value might appreciate more than $100 a month. And maybe miners will be more efficient, okay? Or whatever, right? Consider it a utility bill. You know, you're paying for $100 a month for your electricity cost, so add another $100. Sorry, you're paying $100 a month for your internet, so add another $100 a month to protect your life savings, okay? So that's how I see it. But like all of this, like Jimmy's article already seems too short for me, because I think that everything, like there are the scenarios, the game theory scenarios differ with each 10% mining power for the user-activated soft fork. And when is that mining power noticeable? 10% mining support for user-activated soft fork on July 14th is different than on July 1st. 30% mining support for the user-activated soft fork on July 25th is very different than 30% mining support for the BIP148 on August 2nd. They come with completely different probabilities of outcomes. And I'm sure there's no way in hell I will be able to think of all of them. And I don't even think I'm qualified enough to brainstorm on all of them yet. I I still have more to learn about what's going to happen. But the only way everything can be avoided is if enough people are supporting BIP148 to put pressure on the miners, to put pressure on the exchanges, and we have a voice. And it's way too early to say not enough people are supporting BIP148. Okay? Those articles frustrate me a great deal. All right, I think I have now said everything I wanted to say, but I need to think about it some more, and I'll try and, do a little hand drawing, and we'll see how that goes. Okay, and then maybe I'll write my own game theory scenario article. All right, question time. Let's do it. If there is a hard fork, will there be exactly 21 million coins each on both sides of the, if the two survive? I want to say yes, but here's the thing, right? Here's the minor problem. I'm gonna say yes, but it really depends how decentralized the mining is on each side of the coin. Because remember, if 40% of mining power goes with SegWit, and 60% of mining power goes hard forks the legacy chain, out of that 60% mining power, if Bitmain had 40% of that, you reorganize that 60%, that hard fork legacy chain, and Bitmain might control 60, 70% of all the mining power. If one organization controls that much mining power, they have the ability to easily change 21 million coins. They can change anything they want. They can change historical transactions, for God's sakes, right? And this is the biggest problem. Bitmain has grown too big for its own good. This is exactly what happened the first time there was a fear of a 51% attack from Ghash, which was a mining pool. I don't know how many of my viewers right now remember those days. I remember them clearly. It was in 2014. It was a mining pool that got 50.5% of mining power. And people panicked. Bitcoin crashed like 20%. People panicked, and it was just a mining pool. They don't even have the ability to do anything because anyone can jump off that pool. People got so scared, everybody left that pool. A year later, that pool had less than 1% of the global hash rate, where a year before, that pool had over 50% for like a day. And people got scared. Imagine if it's not even a pool. Imagine if it's literally one company in China, no less, right? Not that them being in the US would be any better, but just saying. So anything can happen, right? Because if your mining isn't decentralized, the 21 million cap can easily be altered, right? And by the way, like I said, I'm not fully convinced a hard cap of 21 million Bitcoin is good. Like I can debate both sides whether, in 20 years, some kind of small inflation rate should be added, not only to support miners, but also to help, scale economy and account for permanently lost Bitcoin. Like there's arguments on both sides. Like I'm not saying I would want it. I'm just saying I can argue it. I can't argue, like, for example, I can't argue Ethereum being legit. I can't argue Ethereum being sustainable. Like I can't do, I would never argue that, right? Because I don't believe it, but at all. But I can argue both sides. I can argue that the 21 million coins is untouchable. And I can also argue that, in 20, 30 years, let's debate it. Maybe it should be touchable. But right now, it's certainly untouchable because all confidence would be lost. I know people are going to hate me for that comment, but like I said, it's some things are debatable, some things are not. All right, before I get myself into more trouble with libertarians here, let's move on. Will you do more of these astrology predictions? Yeah, of course, especially since the last two worked out pretty damn well. June worked out because June 2015 worked out because of the Greek banking shutdown, and August 2017 is clearly working out because it's scary, guys. It's scary. Yeah, I'll do more. I'll update that article. I'll extend my time my time out. All right, move on with questions here. Why are so many people like Vinny? Guys, you gotta, I get my ass in trouble enough, all right? Just like, can we stop with like specific names, please? Everyone's already hating me. Like me and Eric Voorhees now hates me. Like everyone, I don't even care anymore. You know what? The only thing I care about right now is my Bitcoin and cold storage. I really couldn't care less about anyone in this space at the moment. Except those that are helping me understand user-activated soft fork. Those people are very useful. And our core developers that programmed SegWit, those people are also very useful. Why are so many people, like Vinny, only talk about the dangers of the user-activated soft fork, but not taking a position? Since it's happening, you make a hard fork more likely if not supporting BIP148. I don't know, guys. You have to ask Vinny. You can't ask me that. Look, you have to realize that a lot of people have to be politically correct, not only for political reasons, also because some people care about what others think of them, some don't. But more importantly, a lot of people's, their families and their businesses and their life, depends on them being politically correct, right? Like one of my favorite apparel companies is Under Armour. I think they make amazing stuff. The CEO comes out in support of Trump and their stock crashes. I mean, that's freaking unfortunate, right? So there are consequences to picking sides early, especially if you are wrong. And Vinny faced some of these consequences when he publicly told you guys that he sold a lot of his Bitcoins because he was worried of a hard fork. And honestly, it seems like his worries were correct. The market didn't react the way he anticipated it, but seems like he was sure right that we're headed for a hard fork. Even I debated him saying we're not going to head for a hard fork, and clearly I was a little wrong. Might be headed for a hard fork here. But yeah, look, it takes some guts to pick a side. Either side, it takes guts to be anti-user-activated soft fork, right? The core developers are a little scared. They're not supporting it. But hey, if enough people support user-activated soft fork, if we put all the wallets are going to do it, that's for damn sure, or no one's going to use their wallets. The exchanges might do it. And if enough people are in support, it can force our core developers to support it because enough users will put pressure on the core developers. And if we have, put pressure on Bitfury, I would love for them to support BIP148. Because look, BIP149 is coming too late. It's just coming to, I'm sorry guys, it's coming too late. I know it's the safer option, but it's coming too late, okay? The original SegWit proposal, I think it's BIP141. I'm getting these things confused myself now. That one has till November. It has till November. Look, some of this stuff is just coming a little too late. It's one thing activating something in 3 months' time when you know that there is consensus ahead of time. But when there's absolutely no consensus ahead of time, something needs to be done. And I'm willing to risk my life savings. I'm willing to risk it. Okay? My backup plan isn't great. The smart thing for me to do is to sell half my Bitcoin, put it in the S&P 500, or put it in my trading portfolio. And, in case this goes horribly wrong, at least I have enough money in my trading portfolio to make a living then after. But I think that would be a little scammy, right? I mean, I'm literally putting everything on the line here to support user-activated soft fork. Because, look, Bitcoin's time has come, and I'm willing to risk it. And you know what? Maybe I'll start from scratch. I'll work my way back. I've been rich and I've been poor several times. One more round, it ain't gonna kill me. And by rich, I've never been a millionaire, guys. Never made it that high. But it depends on what you consider rich. I guess my standards are a little lower. than some people. But yeah, I think right now, over the next 2 weeks, is the time to be really proactive, user-activated soft fork, and see how much momentum it can generate. But if everyone is scared and everyone's waiting for the economic nodes to support it, but the economics aren't going to support it unless enough people are supporting it. So it's a chicken and egg problem. And if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen, right? And if I have to, I'll pull my support. But that's not happening till mid-July. I'm good till mid-July. I don't have beef with Paul Stortz. I just didn't like what he said on Twitter, right? So he basically implied that he knows something about a problem with the activation of BIP148. And if he knows that there is some kind of a problem, I believe it's his duty to inform the community about it. Our core developers are doing that, when they find bugs in other coins, for God's sakes. When they find problems in Bitmain miners, it's not Greg Maxwell's job to deconstruct the Bitmain miner, and tell you that they're using ASIC boost. It's not his job to, I don't know who the hell uncovered ant bleed, but it's not like their job to do that, but they do it anyway, right? So if you believe in Bitcoin and you know something that's going to hurt the community, you don't just hold it to yourself and watch other people get hurt. You let the community know, because the more information everyone has, the more everyone benefits. So if, I could be wrong about his tweets, but if his tweets implied that he knows some kind of a flaw and he's not sharing it because he's working for Block and Garzik is the only one programming that nonsense of, hard forking to bigger blocks. If they're holding back on some kind of critical information only to watch the other side get hurt, I don't have respect for that. I'm sorry. I just don't. I don't. But again, I haven't followed up on the tweets. I could be all wrong, but you know what? I'm pissing off every other person I talk to and liked in the space. Why stop now? I don't care anymore, guys. This is what happens. This is what happens when you have a real proposal like SegWit, and everyone benefits, the whole community benefits, and people are blocking it for political reasons and out of spite. You know what? You paint other people into a corner, you get pushback, and you get serious pushback from people that were generally very, very nice. You're nice long enough, and then, shit happens. All right, next. Can you comment on why Raoul Paul, I don't know who that is, guys, did his entire position in Bitcoin? Goldman Sachs, Salam dumps 100%. Should we care? No, we shouldn't care. Just like you shouldn't care when Mike Hearn dumped all of his Bitcoin and called the bottom. First of all, you shouldn't care because don't believe what anybody says, okay? Mike Hearn swears he has no Bitcoin. I believe Vinny when he said he sold 90. I believe Mike Hearn when he sold them all. It's irrelevant, guys. It's irrelevant. The only Bitcoin sale that matters is Satoshi moving his million Bitcoin. It's the only Bitcoin sale that matters. That's it. And if I sell all of my Bitcoin and I announce it, first of all, don't believe me. And second of all, you shouldn't care. Well, look how wrong I've been on Ethereum. Look how wrong I've been on Ripple. Look how wrong I've been on Dash. God, if I sell all my Bitcoin, it's probably a confirmation that Bitcoin is going to $100,000 sooner than later, right? No, you shouldn't care at all. And if you think some guy at Goldman Sachs knows more about Bitcoin than you, if you've been here for 3 years, especially during the downturn, you're crazy. You know way more about Bitcoin than anyone at Goldman Sachs. If I'm not mistaken, you have said that Greg Maxwell is a top Bitcoin developer. Do you know why Maxwell is adamantly against BIP148? And also, how do you feel about his opposition? So unfortunately, I have not had time to read Greg Maxwell's criticisms of BIP148. I can take a wild guess as to why he's opposing it, and that's probably because it is dangerous, and we're supposed to be the rational side. We're supposed to be the side that says we have a solution and you can accept it, or we're going to have status quo. And this side that I was on even a few months ago is now forcing the hard fork. And look, Bitcoin is his life's work, okay? I can't think of anyone more invested. I can think of a couple of people, right? But I would put Greg Maxwell as the top 10 people most invested in Bitcoin. And that doesn't necessarily mean the amount of money he has in Bitcoin. He may have 0 Bitcoin. It doesn't matter. Bitcoin is his life's work. He quit prominent jobs. Somebody like Greg Maxwell can easily go to Goldman Sachs and make hundreds of thousands of dollars a year, maybe millions, okay? He's an amazing programmer, okay? He has given that up to program open source software. That's admirable. If Bitcoin fails, he will be one of the reasons. I mean, he may not be responsible for its failure, but he'll feel that way. I can guarantee you that, right? So just because Roger Ver has hundreds of millions of dollars sitting in Bitcoin, or Trace Mayer has God knows how many millions sitting in Bitcoin, it doesn't mean that they're any more invested in Bitcoin than somebody like Greg Maxwell, than somebody like, I can now pronounce Peter Will and what is it, Vandelier, like the one, the main guy there with the commit privileges. Like a lot of core developers, I mean, their reputation is on the line here, okay? Sometimes your reputation is worth more than money. I like to think my reputation is worth more than money, but it maybe not, right? I don't know. I don't know what's more valuable to me, my reputation or my money. I have some principles. I'm giving up some of those principles to put a Litecoin donation address soon. So, I mean, principles change, but yeah, your reputation to some people is more important than money. And mine is 50-50. Maybe I value my reputation a little more than I value money, but I don't know. It's debatable. I don't even know. Haven't thought about it enough, I guess. Anyway, let's move on. Is there a possibility that whoever is creating virtual BU signaling could also create loads of virtual nodes to vote against user-activated soft fork? I mean, there is no vote. Okay, guys, it's not a vote. I mean, it's people voted for BU and big blocks. No one was running their stupid software, okay, because it's buggy. No one is bluffing user-activated soft fork. It's happening. Those that are signaling for user-activated soft fork, they're not bluffing. I'm not bluffing. I'm going to run 1, maybe 2 nodes, right? They're both going to be useful. I'm not going to spool up a bunch of user-activated soft fork nodes to show the nodes. They're irrelevant, right? Luke Dash Jr.'s, I'm not going to share a screen right now, but in Luke Dash Jr.'s article, he clearly states more nodes are useless. It's whether the nodes are being used, and it's whether they're economic nodes. It's whether the exchanges have these nodes, the miners have these nodes. You can spool up millions of BU nodes, and that's like saying we're for BU by default we're against the user-activated soft fork, so we're going to hard fork. So it doesn't. That's already happening, right? The question is, does it make sense to create fake user-activated soft fork nodes? And the answer is no, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't help us, right? Look, I don't want to see fake user-activated soft fork nodes. I need the proper information of how much support, real support, not fake support, real support. I want to know how much real support UASF has, because if it doesn't have enough support, I will be forced to pull my support leading into August 1st. And I'm not going to turn on my miner to mine those coins. I don't want to see fake nodes. I don't, because I don't want to be tricked in believing that the user-activated soft fork can actually work. I don't want to be tricked into that, okay? So it's the other way around, guys. Look, the cleaner, the better the information, the better off everyone is. Next. Look, I don't bullshit, guys. I mean, the picture of a bear that I tweeted out from yesterday is real. I took that picture. That bear was huge, by the way. It's the biggest black bear I've ever seen. I didn't even know they grow that big. Jesus. If you wind up accepting Litecoin for donations, does that mean you will be adding Litecoin to your bi-weekly market analysis? No. I mean, no, maybe. I don't know. It depends how I feel. Look, I will always do Bitcoin. Obviously, I'm going to talk about Bitcoin. I'll talk about Litecoin randomly when I feel like it, or if I have the chart handy, you know. I don't want to promote Litecoin, guys. I really don't. I want to promote Bitcoin. My life savings is in Bitcoin. It's not in Litecoin. And I think that if Bitcoin fails, Litecoin is not going to succeed as a store of value. It's just going to be transactional. And also, if Bitcoin fails, that's a blueprint for how Litecoin will fail in the future. What possible highest price of Bitcoin without segregated witness activation and network congestion causing high fees, and how high can fees go? Fees can go infinitely high, and so can the price. I mean, there are no limits, guys. The question is, can we scale? Can Bitcoin be more useful? And if we get SegWit, a lot of that scared money that went into altcoins is going to come back to Bitcoin. Like Bitcoin, everything will be better if Bitcoin can scale. And if it can't scale, yeah, the price can go high. But here's the problem: people like me no longer want status quo. If we don't get SegWit, Bitcoin's going to end up forking. It's going to end up forking, because I can tell you, because here's another thing, right? If the user-activated soft fork fails, I guarantee you someone is going to put in a BIP before July 2018. Trust me on that, because that's way too far away. Someone is going to put in a BIP for a proof of work change, you know, forcing a hard fork for people that don't want ASIC boost by Bitmain to say, you know what, we'll start our own chain and it'll go back to being decentralized like it was back in the CPU days. So expect that, right? Trust me, this is not going to be the only attempt to hard fork Bitcoin before a year from now. More are coming. I still think that the user-activated soft fork on August 1st can happen, and it can work. And if I change my mind, the first people to know are going to be those that are watching my videos, hopefully live. Let's see how badly I screwed up on this video by flashing screens I shouldn't have. Is there a possibility? Okay, no, I read those questions. Next. I don't even know how long this video has been going on, because I messed up earlier. What possible? Oh no, I read that one too. Why isn't there any significant competition to Bitmain in the production and mining equipment? Well, because people got comfortable and everybody trusted Bitmain. But guess what? Guess what? Maybe there'll be huge demand for Avalon miners. How about that? And you know what? I don't even know if Avalon is better. I don't. I have no idea. I don't have the skill set to analyze a miner. I hope I have the skill set to properly run a miner. I actually have no idea what happens. Like, where the hell do the coins go after you mine them? I have no clue how to join a pool. I'm going to be learning all that, right? And honestly, it's things I'm dying to learn. I don't even know where the hell those coins go. Let's hope I don't lose it. Let's hope I don't. I might even run that miner solo. I'll play the lottery ticket. You know, maybe I'll mine 1 block in 6 months. Maybe maybe that chart will say Tones Miner on it. Like, instead of unknowns, like, I'll publish it. I'll publish the details of my 1 miner. Let's see if I ever mine a solo block. Because again, I'm not mining to make money. I'm mining for political reasons. I'm mining to show my support for SegWit and the user-activated soft fork to get it done, right? Bitmain figured it out. They figured out a cheap way to manufacture. I think they were the first ones to back to screen share. I mean, I don't know. I've never paid attention to mining. I thought it was always like for specialists, right? I believe Bitmain was one of the first to start mining 16 nanometer chips. I hope I'm saying that right. Yep, here it is, 16 nanometer chips, right? And the other miners at the time were mining, were not using 16 nanometer chips. They were like 20 or something, whatever. And Bitmain just blew them out of the water with the productivity of their miner. And KNC went out of business, and Bitfury is doing okay. And they're in China. They probably have like some good deals on manufacturing, and they're pumping these things out like crazy, like Beanie Babies. They're pumping them out like Beanie Babies, right? So there, and hopefully Avalon can compete with them. We'll see. And you know, maybe Bitmain will go the way of Hash.io. If people stop buying their miners and they start buying their competitors, Bitmain may one day be irrelevant, but they can always mine with their own chips because they have cheap electricity. They have a lot of advantages, right? Maybe the Chinese government will crack down on them. Who knows? Maybe they're working with the Chinese government. Who the hell knows? Jihan knows, and he ain't telling you, right? So this is why I did not buy. I wasn't even going to consider buying a Bitmain miner. So I went with the only other option. And there you go. The only other option I knew of. The option that Jimmy Song recommended, actually. Thanks, Jimmy. Me going with Canon and Avalon, that's your doing. Okay, so props to Jimmy. All right. All right, next. Can I share the links to the Litecoin charts? Sure. Let me do that now. So let me, I'm not gonna, sure, I'll throw it in here. Oh, wow, Bitcoin went all the way up and then pulled back. So how far did we get? I'm not sharing screen right now. Oh, it pulled back on Bitfinex. Looks like it's still all the way up on Bitstamp. 2666 on Bitstamp. On Bitfinex, it went to 2655, and then it dropped down to like 26. Okay. So yeah, so Bitfinex is slowly catching up to parity. All right, Litecoin charts. Here we go. I'm pasting them in the chat, guys. So I'll go back to the chat. Here's one. Here's two. Enjoy. All right, next question. Could a futures market for user-activated soft fork help give information about whether an economic majority supports BIP148? If it is low, then people can turn off BIP48 on their nodes to avoid a split. Yeah, I think so. I think it'll help. I think it'll help, but it's tricky, right? Like it's either going to be a fictional market. I mean, the only way to really do it is to force people to lock up. Like you lock up their coins and then you pay them out on the other chain, right? Basically a way for people to actually commit, right? So for example, if Bitfinex forces people to commit their coins, like for example, me, Tone Vase, right? I lock up, let's pick a random number, 21 Bitcoin. I send 21 Bitcoin to Bitfinex, and I put it in a smart contract on Bitfinex, saying I will sell these 21 Bitcoin of the legacy chain for SegWit Bitcoins. Execute this contract as the moment it's viable after August 1st. And it's locked, right? I honestly, I don't even know if that will work, right? Because what if it never activates? Then what happens, right? Then I get to keep my coins back, right? But if it activates, then I sell those coins. And for I sell my legacy Bitcoin for the other coins. So I would lose them if I would give up my legacy coins. So I put my money where my mouth is. And if you have enough people making these, calls, then you will know how many people really support it, right? If you see that, 300,000 Bitcoin is ready to be sold to support SegWit, maybe it'll, make some people think. But then again, you're also showing your hand. If you know that's how many coins are up for sale, then someone smarter than me can probably take advantage of that information and profit from it. Look, there's no good avenues here. There's no good avenues. Which miners would just, adopt SegWit. And hey, if SegWit and Lightning don't solve the problem, look, I'll support a hard fork in the future if it's necessary. But it's not necessary right now. Though I might have contradicted myself here, but like I said last video, it makes sense in my head. Next, transaction times if mining power is split August 1st. So it depends how mining power is split. If only 20% of mining power supports BIP148, then expect 5 times longer to find the first block. And 20% less time to find the first block on the legacy chain, right? It's as simple as that. Now, okay, so this is where this game theory thing, I have 420 viewers right now. Thank you, guys. It's one of the reasons why I keep going with these long videos. So here's another wrinkle to the possible game theories, right? Let's say we get 20% of hashing power on the SegWit chain. The other chain will start pumping out blocks way faster. And after about 2 weeks, it'll slightly lower the difficulty. On the SegWit side, it's pumping out blocks 5 times slower. So it's probably going to take like a damn month before an automatic difficulty change decrease. And that's unfortunate, right? Because it'll take forever to confirm your transactions. But honestly, like, look, confirmation time isn't all that important. I'm not going to get into why. As long as you know your transaction is coming and you don't like try to respend it. This is why I don't care if you guys tip or donate with small transaction fees, because I'm not in a rush to reuse it. Anyway, so here's the thing, right? If the big blockers are going to hard fork the legacy chain, let's say only 20% goes BIP148, and the big blockers hard fork the legacy chain so that there's nobody left on the legacy chain, and the legacy chain reorgs into the BIP148 chain. It still only has 20% of mining power. But at this point, the two chains have different proof of work. They're incompatible with each other because big blockers hard fork the legacy chain. Once that happens, if this side only has 20%, that 20% is in full consensus to immediately force a lower difficulty change in order to mine blocks at a reasonable pace. Maybe not even 10 minutes, maybe 20 minutes, maybe 30 minutes, whatever, right? But we don't want to take 3 hours to find a block. But no one on this side wants to be the asshole that caused the hard fork. So this side with only 20% mining power or 30% mining power is going to avoid implementing a proof of work change. But if the other side does a proof of work change, this side is now free and clear to immediately do a proof of work change because they're not causing the hard fork anymore. Like once you, if you're the second guy to change proof of work, you're not the asshole, right? So they can then do whatever they want. And I can guarantee you this side is gonna immediately, with 99% support, manually lower the difficulty so that the blocks are found in a reasonable manner. Okay? That's another wrinkle to this game theory scenario, right? And I'm telling you, like, just thinking about all of them will make your brain hurt. All right, let's move on. So this supposed war is a question of optics. Who looks good and who looks evil? Yeah, it does. That's why I tweeted out that picture. You know what? I don't care. I'll be the evil. I'll play the evil card. I don't care. I don't care anymore, guys. At this point, what matters to me is my Bitcoin in cold storage, and I'm not willing to give up on Bitcoin, so I'm not selling. Yeah, a lot of politics. Look, if you have a technical problem with SegWit, say it. Say it. Okay? Otherwise, it's politics that are keeping it away. And don't give me this bullshit. They promised SegWit and then hard fork. They might have promised it before they realized that the hard fork will be contentious. You get the SegWit, you see what happens, and then if you think you can pull off a non-contentious hard fork, then we can start talking about it. And by the way, thank you, Ethereum. If it wasn't for Ethereum, Bitcoin could have 2 Bitcoins and not Ethereum having 2 Ethereum. That's my only use case for Ethereum so far, showing us how you can have a contentious hard fork with only like 5% of the people believing in the true values of your token. Plus an 80% silent majority that somewhat split. Maybe, I don't even know. I don't care. All right, let's move on. I see 2 more questions. I don't know how. It's up to Rich how long. I'm going to make Rich the bad guy here. I've been a bad guy enough. Rich, you're now the bad guy. You decide when I stop. All right. If Bitmain is the only thing that can save humanity, what? Oh, Bitcoin. Sorry, I saw Jihan earlier in that. Later in that question. My bad. I don't know who asked the question, but my bad. If Bitcoin is the only thing that can save humanity, no, I don't know if that's true, but wouldn't, oh God, I'm not reading the rest of this question. Really? I can't read that. Look, guys, I don't want any harm to come to anyone. Like, I don't want anything bad to happen to Jihan. I'm not like, I don't have like voodoo dolls here. Like, I don't want harm on anyone, right? Like, you have to understand where those people are coming from. I'm sure Jihan is doing what he thinks is best. You just have to make them understand the economic reality and how they would benefit from the other side. All you can do is just keep chipping away and chipping away. I don't want any harm to come to anyone. Okay, that's not why I'm here. To be honest, that's one thing that could make me leave the space. Like, even if one of my perceived verbal enemies in the space, if harm comes to that person because of this stuff, that might be time to leave. I wouldn't want that, right? Like, I wouldn't want that. Like, out of respect, like, look, I still respect Jihan for the company that he's built. I still respect Roger Ver for everything he's done for Bitcoin in the early days, right? Like, just because I disagree with people and call them idiots doesn't mean, like, I don't respect what they've done to get to where they are, right? I may disagree with their opinions, and that's fine. But I don't want no harm to come to anyone unless it's in self-defense, right? Unless someone is actually harming me, then I'll harm them back. Yeah, so if something bad happens to a lot of the people we're debating, if one thing bad happens to one of the people out of the many people, like I'm in heated arguments over this with, and so are other people, like that would be the most unfortunate part of this, right? It's just money, guys. It's just money. Okay. It comes and goes, right? I mean, people are rich, people are poor. There are more important things in life. At the moment, doesn't feel like it on my end, but in reality, there's more important things in life. Once this is over, I'm definitely traveling. I already talked about Prague. It will be time for a little vacation and a break from Bitcoin. Though I'm pretty sure once this is over, something bigger will be a problem. All right, next question. What do you think of Vitalik saying that he can just delete people's Ethereum? That's a fact. He's done it once. Why wouldn't he do it again? I mean, look, putting any value on Ethereum is one of the most stupidest things I can think of right now. And enjoy it while it lasts. That's all I can say. Like, what do you mean? Vitalik said that he can delete people's Ethereum. Yeah, that's a fact. That's not, I don't understand how that's debatable. So there you go. All right, I don't see any more questions. So Rich is giving me a break. I'm glancing at the chat right now. I'm not going to scroll up the chat. All right, here's a good question. And I talked about it last video. So Matt, please go back and watch last video. Why do you think Bitcoin price continues to rise despite looming user-activated soft fork? Several reasons, okay? One of these reasons is that a lot of the new people coming in have no idea this is going on, right? Most people buy things in the worst possible time. Bitcoin is all over the news. It's an all-time highs, and it's fueling its own hype cycle. The FOMO is fueling itself, right? The other reason is you ain't buying no Bitcoin between August 1st and maybe September 1st. So you better buy them up now, okay? If the price gets high enough, people might be selling them in mid-July into the user-activated soft fork because they're going to be scared. But you ain't, I wouldn't touch Bitcoin on August 2nd because I wouldn't know what coin I'm buying. I might be even scared to sell my legacy coins for more user-activated soft fork coins because I may not know what I'm doing so I have no clue. So those are just some of the reasons. Those are the two main reasons. If I think harder, maybe I'll come up with some more. All right, guys, I have no idea how long this video was. I'm still at 400 viewers. If you have more questions, oh, someone has a question. Can you do an affiliate deal with Canon for the Avalon miners? I don't know. I'd have to talk to Canon. if they can give me an affiliate link. Maybe they're watching this. I have no idea, guys. I don't care. I don't care if I get some kind of a kickback from you buying from them. Like I'm just telling you what I'm doing, right? That's fine. I have a couple of affiliate links now. I have an affiliate link for one broker. I haven't talked about it in a while. For those, I mean, I think they're removing Bitcoin trading. But if you want to use Bitcoin to trade, you know, gold, S&P 500, Google, Amazon, Apple, currencies, you can use one broker. It's an unregulated exchange. You use it at your own risk. I have an affiliate for them. I got an affiliate for Crypto HW Wallet. So you save $5 if you use it. If Avalon, if Canon wants to give me an affiliate code, fine. If not, it doesn't matter. I'm still going to have the link there. It doesn't matter to me, guys. Do I own any Virtue stock? I don't know what that is. VIRTU. I don't know. I don't know if that's a company or what, but the answer is no, but I also don't know what the question says. Yeah, you know what? Sticking my name in front of the question is actually also a good thing. Easy for me to spot them in bright orange. About quantum computing, I just know that Vitalik Buterin, that was Vitalik Buterin's first project. He was collecting money to start a quantum computer scam. So that's all I know about quantum computing. Can it affect cryptography? Probably not. I'm sure the proof of work will change to something, you know, harder to crack. If our smart core developers feel that quantum computing are becoming a problem, they will suggest a proof of work change to protect Bitcoin from quantum computing. So you better hope that Shihan isn't investing in quantum computing, because we may do this shit all over again in about 3 to 4 years. Litecoin's going to pump hard if Bitcoin fails. Possibly, but not from me. Not from me, okay? It may pump, but I will not be responsible for that pump. I'll probably only do traditional markets in my videos. All right, here it is. Here's the Trezor. Out of the box. Slow process. I haven't activated it yet. Haven't gotten to it this week, but it's out of the box. All right, next. Would you recommend a month of cloud mining in August? I can't recommend cloud mining, guys. Next. Would I rather have dinner with Vitalik or Trump? Oh, God, that's not even close. Of course, Trump. God. Give me a hard question, for God's sake. And by the way, if that question was, would I rather have dinner with Vitalik or Mark Karpeles? Easy question, Mark Karpeles. 10 out of 10 times. I don't want to have dinner with Vitalik, guys. I mean, I will if he's paying for it. He's got the money, but there are infinite number of people that I'd rather have dinner with. What will survive if Bitcoin dies? I mean, all of these crypto will survive, and they'll have their own use cases and niches. But what will die is a single crypto as a store of value. I believe that will die. And I could be very wrong on that. Very wrong. That it's a debatable statement, but I'm sticking to it. Are Bitmain pumping more hash to make it more difficult for August 1st? Yeah, probably. That's one of the reasons why I'm not pumping the hash with my one miner. Do I see any benefits or use cases for Litecoin? A little. I think I've talked about it in previous videos and earlier this video, so please check that out. Yeah, I mean, if Bitcoin transactions are ground to a halt in August, Litecoin becomes very, very useful for transactions. But store of value, I don't know about that. When is Ethereum going to get hacked again? It should get hacked soon. All right, I got a lot of noise outside going on. My windows are open. Construction going on, so you'll have to deal with the noise. Am I long on Litecoin or Monero? I have no Litecoin. I have no Monero, guys. I'm going to create a Litecoin donation address, and I'll have some Litecoin. I may or may not create a Monero. Look, I don't feel as conflicted adding a Litecoin donation address. I feel a little conflicted adding a Monero donation address, even though I don't see Monero as an obvious scam like the rest of them. I'll have to think about Monero longer. But I don't think Trump's an idiot. I think Trump's a smart guy. I think Trump's smarter than Vitalik. Yeah, so okay, I may be lying. I think I have some Litecoin on a, on some old thumb drive somewhere. If it's more than 10 Litecoin, I'll be surprised. And if I can remember the private key password, I'll also be surprised. And I don't even know if I'm gonna bother looking for it. So, but other than that, as far as I know, I don't have access to any Litecoin at the moment. Do you really think there will never be better project to replace Bitcoin? It would need better technology than Bitcoin and not a copy. I don't know what it will be. It will need to be something better. Do you think it will be more profitable to mine Litecoin than Bitcoin in September? I have no idea. I don't know. Again, I'm mining Bitcoin for political reasons, not for profit. I'm mining it to put my money where my mouth is. I'm not going to mine Litecoin to get more Bitcoin. That's not why I bought the miner. I bought the miner to support BIP148. If BIP148 ends up not working, it doesn't matter. I'm still going to mine to support SegWit. Like, I need to have my own node. I need to reroute my own SPV transactions, and I want to support the network. I want to mine. I'll pay the bill. I'll pay the electric bill. One consulting fee a month pays the mining electric bill, right? So there you go. My consulting fee is 0.1 Bitcoins per hour. You guys can ask any questions you like. And charting, finance, whatever, you can debate me on global warming if you like, it's up to you. You're the customer, Is Ethereum too big to fail? No, nothing is actually too big to fail. Superpowers fail. The US government will eventually fail. I'm just betting that it's later than sooner. Nothing is too big to fail. Ethereum is going to fail because it's getting too big. It's not going to overtake Bitcoin, guys. Not in reality. Maybe an inflated price, but not in reality. Trump, Ron Paul, or Jesse Ventura for president in 2020? Ron Paul, in my opinion, but hope he's. Ron Paul is getting old, guys. If a shitcoin would get close to taking over Bitcoin market cap wise, how fast do you think BIP141 will activate? So BIP141 is the original SegWit. Honestly, I think they're independent. I don't think a shitcoin overtaking Bitcoin is what matters here. I tweeted that I was going to make an episode with Decred. Maybe, look, I'm busy with this stuff. Look, I'm doing like 2-3 hour videos and now apparently daily, right? When am I going to have time? I don't care about Decred, guys. We got bigger problems. I've been in touch with like the lead developer of Decred. He doesn't do any interviews. He's willing to do my interview. I have to get ready for it. I'm not just going to do a blind interview. I have to read about Decred. I have to prep. I mean, and I have to learn how to mine. I mean, there's only so much time in a day, and my videos take up an enormous amount of time. Not to mention the infinite number of comments, and I am getting some private clients, which is great. So contact me for that. When is the Ethereum scam part 2 coming out? Same problem as the Decred interview, only for the Ethereum problem, my freaking guest isn't getting back to me. So, and I don't know if I want to give away who that guest is, but I'm gonna be texting him like 3 times a day, force him to do it. All right, guys. On that note, I know this video has gone an unreasonably long amount of time. I do need to end it. Thank you for all your questions. If you have more questions, please reach out to me privately. My email is in the description of the video. My consulting rate is 0.1 Bitcoin per hour. We can talk about any altcoin you like. We can chart it. We can do whatever. I usually do it over Skype so I can share my screen. Thank you very much for tuning in. I was clocking at 400 viewers the second half of this video, which is great. There are lots of links. Please look at the description of the video. There's lots of links that will help you understand the user-activated soft fork. I will continue to do my job in studying and learning more so I can bring you my latest thoughts on the situation. This is Tone. Peace out, guys.